You all to the 79th session of Vellore Toastmasters Club. To be honest, wanting to be sane and happy is something too pricey these days, right? But there could be that something little teeny weeny thing or teeny weeny motivation or driving force that can keep you happy. For me, it is food or seeing my parents happy. What is yours? Come on. Anyone? Anyone who wants to share what is the driving force that keeps you sane?
Waking up without coughing each day in the present scenario.
True. So many
A token of appreciation.
from?
Anybody.
Okay. Bharat, Darshini, Heenal. Yes.
I think for me it's a mixture of everyone. Seeing my parents happy by working hard and proving them right.
Okay. Thank you. Bharat has been thinking since forever. What is it, Bharat? There's nothing that drives you to the place where you are in right now. Okay. Meanwhile, Sissy.
Same for me, seeing my parents all happy and my
Okay.
family
Keep
happy.
them up.
For me, two kids, no, I have to look after them. I'm solely responsible for them. So that's my driving force mostly.
Okay. So I'm very sure we all have that teeny weeny driving force that is keeping us sane, right? I leave it here. Before we go to what we have in store for you today, I'm very sure that's going to teach all of us a lesson. Let me execute my duties. The vision of Toastmasters. Well, I plan to not look inside the book and say the vision today, so let me try my best. It is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning experience by which our members develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. Yes. So, I have a few rules for all of you to abide by. Please keep your cell phone switched off, or if you want, please do not distract the audience and go aside and turn it on. Keep your mics on mute unless and until you want to talk. Please abstain from talking about religion, sex, and politics. And last but not the least, do keep your videos on. Thank you, and over to our presiding officer for the day, the powerhouse of VTC, the ever 16 Toastmaster Vijay Surana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. Could I have got something better to be thankful today? Good evening, friends, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Toastmaster Priyanka, I'm starting to reconsider addressing you as the eternal grammarian. I'd rather call you the Virendra Sehwag of VTC for always giving us this explosive and exciting start. Indeed, well begun is half done. It is believed that any speaker either catches or loses the interest of his audience in the very first 2 minutes of their speech. Thankfully for us, the first few minutes of every meeting are always in your able hands. Needless to say, the mood is upbeat and we look forward to an engaging session ahead. Well, first things first, I hereby declare open the session number 79. Before moving ahead, let me take this opportunity to welcome you all, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends, to the 79th session of Vellore Toastmasters Club. For the benefit of guests, I'd like to inform that Vellore Toastmasters Club is the only community club of Toastmasters at Vellore, wherein we are in a constant pursuit of honing our communication and leadership skills. Should anyone be interested in knowing further, kindly feel free to get in touch with me. Friends, there's a saying in Hindi which goes, Pehla Sukh Nirogi Kaya, which literally translates to health is the foremost form of happiness. As you are aware that each of our meetings are based on a theme that is set in by the Toastmaster of the day. And today we have a very own veteran member, a man whom the club looks up to and draws inspiration from, playing the TMOD himself, Toastmaster Anandan. And the theme for today's meeting is health and happiness. Let me take, before I hand over the further proceedings in the able hands of our TMOD, who's going to take us through a merry ride of health and happiness, let me take a moment to acknowledge the presence of our beloved guests. Let me start by thanking Toastmaster Heenal from Sol VIT to be with us here today. Can we have a few words from you, Toastmaster Heenal?
Thank you so much for having me. I've spoken to a lot of VTC members, and there's a lot to learn from all of you. I spoke to Anandan sir yesterday, and he showered me with so much wisdom and gave me so many tips. So it's always a pleasure to speak to each of you, and I'm really glad that I could come here as an evaluator today. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Heenal, for being with us. I see a lot of other guests. We have Siddharth, Tarun, Shraddha. We have very own Ankit Swain here today. Would anyone share a few words with us, please?
Good evening, guys. This is Tarun.
Hi, Tarun.
I feel really great to be here once again. I enjoyed a lot the previous session. I'm hoping to get a lot of knowledge from this place once again. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the show today. Can we have others? Aishri, Shraddha.
Hello everyone, I am Shraddha from Sol. It's always a pleasure to be here at VTC and I look forward to a great session. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being with us, Shraddha. Sridharan, Surya, can we have a few words from you? Okay. We have one of our old members here today, Mahalakshmi. Can we have a few words from you, Mahalakshmi?
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you? First of all, I would like to know your health, your conditions. I hope everybody fine, right? Such a long gap. Sorry. As soon I'll back to our club. I'll like to have a great session with you all, guys. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi, for being with us. Please keep attending as guest and be a part of VTC. At least you can be a part of the table topics which you so love to do. Thank you,
sir,
guest.
I will do.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mahalakshmi. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure you all will gonna have a great time today. I shall get back to you by the end to receive your feedbacks. Now, without any further delay, let me hand over the further proceedings in the able hands of our Toastmaster of the day with his theme, health and happiness. Toastmaster Anandan, please.
Thank you very much, my dear VTC members, guests. It's as Mahalakshmi told, it's so nice to see everybody hale and healthy. And I think it's a nice topic for the present moment, health and happiness. Every human being needs to be healthy and needs to be happy. What is health? Health is a state of being free from any diseases or any injury. So when you're free of any diseases or any injury, automatically you are happy. Of course, anybody who's suffering from any disease and suffering from any injury cannot be happy. But Still, if you have a mind to be happy, you could be happy. Health is fitness of all your body parts, the organs. I think we'll have a small chat of how to be healthy physically as well as mentally. Follow the following for good health physically. I hope all of you know the number one rule to be healthy is doing exercise. Exercise gives you, strengthens each and every part of your body. There are different exercises. And exercise can be boring. And there are some more exercises which gives fun. Can you name one of the exercise, please?
Zumba dance.
Pardon me?
Zumba.
Dancing.
Pardon me?
Zumba dance.
Oh, super, super. That's a beautiful exercise. Okay, there are so many exercises which gives fun to humans, especially youths. Walking is also boring, you can say, some people say, but some enjoy. Play games like cricket, hockey, football, very tedious game, which is really very interesting and very, very healthy game. Doing yoga, asanas, of course, cycling. I hope many of you will enjoy cycling, enjoy being inside the gym, doing gymnastics and weights. Some oldies like me do a lot of pranayama because we lack a lot of oxygen. So we do pranayama. What is pranayama? Pranayama is nothing but cleansing the whole part of your body with air. It's part of yoga. So these are the types of exercise for the body. What are the exercises there for keeping the mind healthy? Because keeping only your body healthy is not enough. You have to have your mind also very, very healthy, brisk. Meditation is the most important part for you to keep your mind healthy. Doing active, keeping yourself activeness, your mind not lazy, is also a good exercise. Listening to music, listening to good speeches, motivated speeches, like our great members, Vijay, Saumani, Darshini, Priyanka, all great speakers, speeches gives you a lot of joy and happiness. Praying also gives a lot of happiness. Praying to God gives you lots of happiness. And self-hypnotizing, when you're low on your mind, self-hypnotizing gives you a boost, a boom to your mind. Say you're happy, I'm happy, and I'm happy, and I'm happy. Automatically you become happy. Attending spiritual courses, bhajans, group meditation, counseling, surrounded by good people, doing social activities, helping the poor, all these are good for the mind, makes you a mind healthy. Having good habits, good friends, good health is good life. One of the health conscious, all your parents, teachers teach you good habits. Good habits is the basic for good health. Don't you think so? What are the good habits which gives you strength, which is very necessary for your health? Anybody?
Early to bed, early to rise.
Oh my God, you come out of a comic book, man. That was my first point and you striked it. This girl, Saumani, comes out of real comic book. Thank you. Timely meals, 9 a.m. breakfast, 1 p.m. lunch, dinner. Next, nourishing food, green vegetables, fruits, nuts, good environment. Nature is the most beautiful place for you to be healthy. Nice people, of course. Advantages of good health. What are the advantages of good health? No disease, no pain and suffering. Health is wealth, they say. Health is joy. Health is happiness. Health is peace. Health is strength. Of course, health is long life. Health is the ultimate in life for every human being. Health is God's blessing to you and to your organs and all your body parts. Nothing is more important than health in life. Follow the following to be healthy. Drink 4 to 6 liters of water. Get yourself involved in the soil. What do you mean by getting yourself involved with the soil? My guru, my Asan, Jaggi Vasudev says, do a lot of work in the garden. Let your feet touch the soil. Let your hands touch the soil. Sow a seed. Pour water. Bring up the plant. You know what? How happy you are when the plant grows and starts yielding fruits. These are all the ways and means of acquiring health, the meaning of health, acquiring health, the steps to follow to have a healthy life. And now I think it's time for me to introduce you to the general evaluator. Who is the general evaluator? My dear friend, a bubbling youth from VTC, a smart young boy, is just smiling because this general evaluator. He studied and working in a very hard work, who is very enthusiastic. I remember when he was enthusiastic, so far he has developed very high level. I missed many of his thing because of my 6 months absence. Always pursuing to see what it does. His role is the best. He loves to do it in the best possible manner. So now I hand over to Bharat, the general evaluator, who is going to evaluate the whole session. Over to you, Bharat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anandan, for the wonderful introduction and also a brief introduction about your theme. So, a very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So, comes in general, Toastmasters is a place where you can improve your public speaking skills and leadership skills. But do you guys know what is the most important aspect in Toastmasters? I think it's nothing but the evaluation. Yes, in life, you might have many goals, but to achieve that, you need a perfect person to guide you and achieve that goal. So, guys, this is Toastmaster Bharat, and I'm the general evaluator for today's session. So, the role of a general evaluator is to evaluate the session as whole, and also I will be evaluating each role players and also the guest speakers who are doing it. And so I'm not going to do it alone. I have few people to assist me. So we call them tag team in Toastmasters. So the letter T stands for timer and A for our counter and G for grammarian. So firstly, I would like to call the timer for today's session, Toastmaster Priyanka. Over to you.
Thank you, general evaluator. They say at the age of 20, you have ample amount of health and time, but not the right wealth. At the age of 35, you have health and wealth, but not the right time. And at the age of 60, you have wealth and time, but not the right health. And this is why they say you must experience and enjoy every phase of life and not postpone it to the later. Time and health are two precious assets that do not come with a price tag. We do not realize their worth until they are depleted. Use them wisely, and you're sure to see happiness, which is the highest form of health. You and I, together today, shall decide your happiness at the end of the day. As your timer for today, I keep track of the duration of your speeches and also will be notifying you with three different colors of cards. For prepared speeches, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes, where the green card will be displayed at the 5th minute, yellow at the 6th minute, and red card at the 7th minute, and will remain on the screen till the end of your speech. In order for you to qualify, your speeches can be anywhere from 5 minutes to 7 minutes. A 30 seconds buffer, a 30 seconds extra time will be given by which you have to wind up your speech. That's exactly at 7 minutes 30 seconds. For table topics, yeah. For table topics, you will have a time limit of 1 to 3 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, where the green card will be displayed at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes, which will remain to be on your screen till the end of your speech. In order to qualify, the duration of your speech can be anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you will get a 30 seconds buffer time before which you'll have to wind up your speech. For the evaluation speech, you have a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes, where the green card will be displayed at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 3 minutes. In order for you to qualify, the evaluations can be anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, and it must wind up before 3 minutes and 30 seconds. All the best to all speakers, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. Now, I would like to call the R counter for today's session, Toastmaster Kirtana. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As your counter today, I'll listen to your speeches carefully and count the filler words like but, like, and likewise. These fillers make the speech look less prepared and less interesting. Likewise, there are some other fillers in our life. When we are bored, we used to stress eat, we have to eat snacks, and all these things affect our life and health and happiness. So I think we are going to get an awesome speech without us. Thank you, General Evaluator. Over to you, Bharat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kirtana. And now, I would like to call the grammarian for today's session, Toastmaster Kriti. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Am I audible?
Yes.
As we know, health and happiness goes hand in hand. If you are healthy, it makes you happy. If you are happy, it combats negative vibes and further increasing likelihood of health. Likewise, grammar and good communication are interrelated. The better the grammar, the clearer the message, the more likelihood of understanding the message's intent and meaning. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to the language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So, for today's meeting, the word is ecstatic. I repeat, ecstatic, which means an act of feeling or expressing overwhelming happiness or joyful excitement. Example, as soon as the parade started, ecstatic children began to yell. Anyone wants to give a try? Does anyone want to give a try? Ecstatic. The word is ecstatic. Yes, sir. Anandan.
Whenever I see tasty, sumptuous food in front of me, I feel very ecstatic. That's why I'm so bloated up. And Vijay doesn't feel so ecstatic when he looks at lovely food. That's why he's maintaining his body.
Nice, nice you say so. Anyone else? Yeah, okay. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
So thank you, my tag team, for giving a wonderful introduction about your roles. So I'll be back with my report at the end of all your roles and the speeches, and I'm also ready to accept my mistakes too as an evaluator. And so if I want to say a theme related line, I hope I can give a healthy evaluation and make you guys to have a happy Toastmastering. Over to the TMD.
Thank you, General Evaluator Bharat. That was a beautiful introduction of your tag team and very well explained about what your role is, especially for the guests. I think they'll be quite happy to know what exactly is a General Evaluator is. I'm so honored, so happy and exotic to have Darshini, a great person who is our first speaker for the day. She is a final BA student in VIT pursuing her very happy and an aspirant MBA. She's a qualified dancer, and I hope once we have a virtual meeting, we have a qualified dance session. Do you all want Darshini's dance session? Please acknowledge. Okay. Yeah, we are all looking forward to that lovely dance session. If it's going to take a long time, no problem. You could just record one of your lovely dances and put it in our next session. She has a wide range of hobbies, like singing, of course, dancing, reading, and she loves to do new things. I think VTC members, all of you people love to do new things, and you are really number one in doing new things, cracking it up. In fact, I think she's an amazing, adventurous, and a very sweet person. Now we have Hinal from Seoul VIT to evaluate her speech. She is a third-year computer science engineer, young at age and young at heart, but old in knowledge, experience, talent, skill. I hope I'm not overreacting. It is definitely, she's worth all these praises, because I just had a small talk with her last night, and she gave me a mind to explain to you that she had all these things. She is also humble, kind, and a very sweet person. The beauty with VTC is, sorry for explaining everybody a sweet person, because everybody is really a sweet person. They're all sweet, sweeter, sweetest, and things like that. The competition is between how sweet you are, and then maybe at the end of the session, the general evaluator will be evaluating and tell us which is the sweetest person of VTC. I hope, general evaluator, you got an extra job to do that. Now, over to the general evaluator, Hinal, to talk about Darshini's projects.
Thank you, TMOD. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Amidst so much negativity present in this world today, all of us individually seek ways to keep ourselves both happy and healthy. Some of us like to dance, some of us like to write, but as Toastmasters, the one thing that makes all of us feel ecstatic is listening to people and hearing their unique perspective on things. And today, we shall be listening to Toastmaster Darshini speak on any topic of her choice as part of her Level 1, Project 2, Speech 1 of her Path Visionary Communication. She must deliver her speech, gain feedback, and work on this feedback in her next speech. I wish her all the best, and I'm sure she'll be able to put a smile on all our faces. Thank you, and over to the TMOD.
Sir, you're muted.
The most interesting part, the joy and happiness of listening is going to start. Darshini, what is the new elite? What is the new elite, Darshini?
Am I audible and visible? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. You all might be wondering, why is the title of her speech a question? Well, I wanted all of you to wonder so that when we find out the answer for the question, we all can take something back. Charles Moore discovered the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in 1997. So what is this Great Pacific Garbage Patch? It is the largest of 5 offshore plastic accumulation zones in the world's ocean. It is located somewhere in between Hawaii and California. But what is this thing made of? It's made of tiny bits of plastic. Do we know what plastic is made of? Well, it's made of this component called PET, which is otherwise called as polyester. Yes, you heard me right, polyester. Another surprising thing is the whole number of the whole PET produced globally, 60% of this PET is used by global fashion industry. Isn't this surprising? There's another fact that's also surprising. We think that we all use cotton clothes, mostly. But the production of polyester is 52% on the whole, and cotton is only 24%. But hey, cotton is not our friend here, because cotton consumes 20,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilogram of cotton fabric. We all can do the math here with how much amount of cotton clothes we own. There's another thing which is called organic cotton, but that's another temporary solution. The global fashion industry is the second major pollutant of our resources. So let's see where all of this started. In April 2013, the Rana Plaza of 8-storied, which is an 8-storied garment factory complex on the outskirts of Dhaka, Bangladesh, collapsed, crushing 1,138 people to death and 2,500 people were injured in this scene. 90% of the workers were women. This was a factory that was supplying orders for 29 global fashion brands. This was when the fashion revolution was born. Now we do not know what this fashion revolution is. Let's know what fashion revolution is. This is a movement which was aimed to bring people and organizations together to change the way our clothes are being sourced, produced, and consumed. Let me put it this way. 1 out of 6 people on the planet work for the global fashion industry. Sadly, this industry is full of human rights injustices like slavery, poverty, gender inequality, harassment, child labor, and whatnot. All of this, however, is merely a symptom of a much larger issue. So let's talk about the word. This word has been loosely used and abused left, right, and center today without truly understanding the significance of it. A word which is long, powerful, and totally the need of the hour. Sustainability. We are buying more but wearing less, which means we buy more but we do not treat the clothes properly. We throw them, we wash them, we spoil them, and then we throw them away. At the moment, we do not have proper technology where we can recycle these clothes so that they can go back into producing new clothes. Many brands today are slowly introducing sustainable clothing, but it's not on the higher scale. So maybe if we as consumers stand demanding for more sustainable clothing, the companies might switch. At the end of the day, that is what they do, right? They meet our demands with their supply. It's high time we all start today. Sustainability is something that is within us. We don't want the outsiders to tell us or guide us how to slow down or how to adapt a lifestyle or how to go back to our basics. We have seen our grandparents adapt a lifestyle with a very happy living without any pollution and everything. As far as I remember, I have seen my grandparents using uh, old saris as mats, and I also remember that when I was a child, my grandparents and my parents used to buy fabric and they used to stitch out of it. The fabric is of your choice, the tailor is of your choice, the design and fit is of your choice. So they invested a lot of time and energy in selecting their clothes. So they loved their clothes. So we need to learn to love our clothes. The clothes which are loved last longer. We should also adapt some of the things like reuse, recycle, shop less, and mend more from their lifestyles. So going back into our old lifestyle or going back to our basics might be difficult right now, but if we start today, eventually we'll get there. We are the only animals that wears clothes. It is our chosen skin and it represents us as people at many places. So, but today we are in this position where we are in an elite world where we do not repeat our clothes because we posted a picture of wearing the clothes on Instagram. This eliteness is where most of our problems originate. So here is my answer to the question, what is the new elite? Sustainability. Sustainability is the new elite. Thank you. Have a great day.
That was a wonderful, superb speech from Darshini. I was a little bit taken back when she said we were the only animals who use clothes. That was really a good one. But the problem is God has blessed the other animals with the dress when they were born, and for us, we were born dash, dash, dash. Okay? And now we have one of our greatest, most scintillating, vibrant, exotic speaker, Saumani. I have a lot of things to talk about Saumani because the first time I spoke with her before she could join, she was a good, nice, enthusiastic girl, but she was very shy. She told me, she set up a challenge for me when I talked with her. She told me that she has been evading Toastmaster for the past 1.5 years from joining. Oh, I said, that's a good challenge for me to show my talent and skill. So many of the VIT people have tried to join Toastmasters and that failed. So at last she got into the clutches of this old man, Anandan, and I thought I have to use all my 45 years of experience to try to pull her and make her join VTC. And to my support, a mother was also behind me. She said, Anand, somehow you must see to it that she joins Toastmasters this time. Many people have failed. And I don't know what happened. By the grace of God, I finally saw to it that she joined VTC. She joined VTC as a shy girl, but now she's the most exuberant, exotic, mind-boggling speaker, activity, and she's become a very good leader. Oh my God, thanks to God for introducing such a star people into VTC. She is completely transformed, kicked the shyness and fear. That's what Toastmaster is. It is a place where you can kick your fears, become a great, everything is inside every human being. The talent is inside you. All you have to do is just bring it out. And how? You just have to kick your fear, your shyness. Once you kick it, it starts flowing. And here is a very good example that anybody can become a good speaker, but they have to work hard. They have to use their talent, mind, brain, skill. And she's really done it, and she's on top. And she has become a leader also. I'm so happy. Someone who I introduced, who I worked so hard to bring her into VTC, is now shining like a star on the moon in VTC. And just wondering that she's going to give a very beautiful speech, which all of you are really going to enjoy and nourish. Before that, she's having a very, very smart, beautiful evaluator, Vijay Suranna. The two greatest of great pillars of VTC. At 65, I actually envy and enjoy Vijay. I've never seen a person with so much of willpower, vigor, focus, concentration. I don't think I'm boasting or trying to overlap. Let me just tell you one small thing which all of you all will agree. I am 106 kgs and I'm trying to reduce to at least 6 kgs and round up to 100 kgs. For the past 8 months, I've been doing all sorts of things. I don't want to say all sorts of nonsense, but all sorts of things in the book, in the net, everything. I'm just reduced about 100 grams. Whereas this gentleman who was bulkier than me, heavier than me, has reduced and become so slim, so trim, so handsome, and looks like a youth now. I think all of you will agree now is really a very will-powered man. Am I right or wrong? Acknowledge, please. That's it. Not only that, he is a very adventurous person. He loves trekking. He goes trekking, and he's a great leader. And I saw that he's taking to places, so many nice places in Vellore, even though I was not born, but I was brought up in Vellore. I never knew such places existed. And quite a few of you all have accompanied him and enjoyed those lovely, lovely moments. And one more thing I want to sum up. It's very, very rare of rare things. A businessman turning into a lawyer. My God, it's the first person I came across, because businessmen wants always to be businessmen, wants to become millionaires, wants to become trillionaires and things like that. But this guy is different, yeah. I don't know, he's got enough wealth, he's a rich man already, but he wants to show his talent and skill in talking, in arguing, and maybe in helping out people who want justice, a good profession. And I'm sure he's going to be a very good lawyer very soon. So any of you will have any legal problems, just go to him. And my only request is just give us at least 50% discount. Huh? Okay, thank you. And over to you, Vijay.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I can't help but remind you that the star of today are the speakers and not the evaluators. We are just here to evaluate the star speakers. Our star is our speaker, Toastmaster Somini. Nevertheless, thank you so much for all the praise. I should mention that indeed I am very wealthy because I have both health and happiness with me. I think that makes me feel a great feeling of ecstatic at my end. I'm absolutely ecstatic about that thing. Coming to the evaluation part. Friends, I'm here to evaluate Toastmaster Somini today. Before we dwell further, I'd like to take a cue from what Toastmaster Anandan had referred, that he had to woo Toastmaster Somini for 1.5 years to bring her in VTC. I say thank you, sir, because I am reminded of a very old commercial of Onida TV which these millennials would have never heard. Owner's pride and neighbor's envy. VTC's pride and VIT's envy is Toastmaster Somini. She will be delivering her level 1 project 2 speech too. This shall be her second and final speech from the project evaluation and feedback. And for the benefit of the guests and the members, let me inform the following. The purpose of this speech is for a member to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received for her first speech of this project. The purpose of this speech in particular is for the member to demonstrate a speech of 5 to 7 minutes on any topic of her choice and receive feedback. The speech can be the earlier one which she had delivered at the evaluation stage, or can be a different speech. Toastmaster Somini's objective is to deliver a well-organized speech, and I shall be evaluating her based on the feedback which was given to her first speech of this project. The speech will also be assessed on the broad lines with regard to the clarity of speech, the vocal variety, the eye contact, the gestures, and the audience awareness. Of course, her comfort level while delivering this speech. And with this, I shall hand over. Here's wishing Toastmaster Somini the best of luck. I shall provide my report when called upon. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Vijay. And I'm sorry I just overshot my time in explaining about your wonders, but it is all worth it, and it's the truth I told. And now, Somini of bitter and sweet. Of bitter and sweet, Somini starts sparkling.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible and visible? Thank you. Imagine you're in the 1900s, where people mostly went to work in factories that underpaid them, and it was all about steel, oil, and coal. With ruthless business people like Carnegie, Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, and other cold-blooded industrialists offered spine-breaking labor with menial wages, there was a man called Milton who offered his employees dignity and inspired love and loyalty while making himself wildly rich during the process. Today, when I walk into my nearest departmental store, say Anugraha, I can buy a chocolate bar for rupees 50. But that wasn't the case 100 years ago. Chocolate was a luxury, affordable only by the rich. Can you recall the scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where Charlie receives a gift on his birthday that would be a chocolate bar? That would be so special. That was the case of every family 100 years ago whose pots were not flowing with gold and silver. The world needed a chocolate revolution. At the age of 15, Milton began his candy making career. He was apprenticed to Joseph H. Rower in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, from whom he learned valuable skills and tools, which he later used. In 1876, Milton borrowed $100 from his aunt and opened his first candy shop in Philadelphia. He worked day in and day out for 15 to 16 hours a day to keep his business alive. He made caramels and taffies in the night and sold them in push carts during the day. But in 1882, after a period of winter of illness and mounting debt, he was forced to sell his business and move to Denver to join the great Colorado Silver Rush. Surprisingly, Milton found his fortune not from the ground, but from a cow, when he learned that adding fresh milk to caramels extended their shelf life and also prolonged their quality, a discovery that was so crucial to be used in his later life. He then left Denver for Chicago and started another candy shop, but failure continued to haunt him. He failed then again in Chicago, and then again in New Orleans, and again in New York City, where a group of kids stampeded his delivery wagon and made off with his entire stock. Now, Milton was bankrupt. At this point, Milton returned back to his home city, Lancaster, but to find all of his relatives had given up on him, refusing to even take him inside, let alone provide some money to restart his business. But he found salvation in an old friend called Henry Lepkisher. Henry had previously worked with Milton in his Philadelphia store. He not only provided a place for Henry to live, but also helped him restart his business. The pair then established the Lancaster Caramel Company. Drawing from his experiences back in Denver, Milton came up with the new chewy milk-based caramels, which became an instant hit in the market. They were called the Crystal Ace, and which enabled him to expand his business. In 1893, at the World Columbian Exposition, Milton witnessed a German chocolate rolling machine, which spiked a new determination in him. He then turned to his friend and said, "Caramels are a fad, but chocolate is permanent. I'm going to make chocolate." The next year, with the very same machinery, Milton started producing about 114 different types of chocolate candies and established his company in his name, the company that we call today the Hershey Company. Milton S. Hershey then solely got into mass producing milk chocolates. With all the wealth that he generated from the success of his 114 types of chocolate candies, he started building a chocolate factory, which he meant not for his workers to only come and work, but a town for his workers to live, play, love, and prosper. Yes, my dear audience, Milton Hershey was the real-life Willy Wonka with his own set of Oompa Loompas. And just like that, chocolate was no more a rich man's affair. The community that Hershey built for his employees had affordable schools, departmental stores, hospitals, churches, libraries, a zoo, an open-air theater, and even an amusement park. Both the community and the company prospered, and the company's sales rocketed from $600,000 million in 1901 to $20 million in 1921. Even when the stock market collapsed in 1929, unlike so many other companies, he did not fire his people or cut back on his operations. He embarked on building an ambitious building plan to solely keep his workers employed. Both the company and the community flourished during the Great Depression. The great inventor that he was, he came up with the high energy field energy D bars during the World War II, which was a 4-ounce non-melting 600 calories chocolate that would support soldiers in the front lines during the war and to be used when no food was available. He even received the Army/Navy E for Excellence Award for excellence in production. Hershey remained at the helm of his chocolate empire until 1944, when he finally retired as the chairman of the board at the age of 87. He spent his 88th and final year still experimenting with new confections that involved celery, carrot, and even potato ice creams. Give them quality. That is the best kind of advertising you can do, he said. Even when failure was his best friend, Hershey did not compromise in quality. And when he started tasting the sweet of success, Milton Hershey remembered to share his wealth among his people. He lived as an example to demonstrate that valuing human connections above all, treating your people with respect and love, and uplifting fellow men and women were the essential ingredients towards greatness. A chocolate is both bitter and sweet, and so was the story of the man who made it affordable to all of us today. And I'm sure that when we open a silver or gold foil of a Hershey's Kisses, squeeze the Hershey's chocolate syrup onto our breads, or engulf a whole Hershey's milk chocolate bar, we'd not only see but remember the story of the immortalized name Hershey. Thank you.
That was an exotic speech about not only bitterness but sweetness also. I'm really very open to tell you that I've been eating Hershey's for quite a long time, but I'm completely ignorant about the story behind it. Thank you very much, Somani, for bringing light to the story of Hershey's. And my daughter, a very big lover and fan of Hershey's, also doesn't know. I think I'll have to pass on this information to her first thing after the meeting. And now, I'm going to talk about happiness. We spoke about health and now happiness. Happiness is joy. Happiness gives you power and a very nice feeling. To attain happiness continuously, you have to work towards joy and happiness. External materialistic happiness is just temporary. What is permanent? Your happiness should come from your heart, from inside. You have to work on your inside to attain real happiness, joy, and bliss. Being happy has major beneficial health and vice versa. Happiness helps in combating stress, boosts your immunity system, protects your heart, and reduces pain. Happiness is always felt when we forget our ego, selfishness, and arrogance. Real happiness is in lifting people. That is a wonderful joy. When you lift, when you help someone who very badly needs. Happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Very, very important. You can't be jealous and at the same time be happy. You can, but that is not a lasting joy and happiness. So think positive and be happy. Happiness is not a destination. It's a way of life. Happiness is not how much we have, but how much we enjoy and what that makes us happy. Look for areas where happiness is lost in your life and start working out to repair the damages you have done for not being happy. Happiness is doing what you like, but at the same time, happiness is not doing what others don't like. Watching your favorite movie, playing games, being with the company of nice people you love is all happiness. Life is too short to spend time with people who suck happiness out of you. So, my dear friend, use your time to be with nice people, lovely people. There is only one happiness in life: to be loved and to love. Happiness is not the absence of problems. Happiness is not the absence of problem. You can be happy with problem, provided you know how to solve your problems. Everybody wants happiness. Nobody wants pain, but you can't have rainbow without a little rain. You can't have joy and happiness without a little bit of tears in your eyes. So that's what they say. This joy is cheerful joy. Oh, that's a beautiful phrase. The best way to multiply happiness is to share it with others. Happiness is a perfume. You cannot pour it on somebody without getting a few drops on yourself. The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, and the wise grows it under his feet. And now we have the most important, enjoyable, fun session of Toastmasters session, the table topic session. I love table topics because table topic is the only session where you can just talk about any damn thing you like. It is an opportunity for you to talk, especially for the beginners who are afraid. It's not necessary that you should talk about the particular point. This session is just to kick the fear out of yourself. Talk whatever you feel like. And slowly but steadily, you will be starting to talk about the topic. And now we have a very interesting and a very old member of VTC, Mr. Devendran, Toastmaster Devendran, to conduct this session. I know Devendran for a very, very long time. The first time I met him for a few minutes I used to talk with him. A very shy, timid, simple, humble, and of course kind and very, very soft-spoken man. But slowly but steadily, he has started in exploring himself and started giving good speeches. He kicked his fear, his shyness, and of course, one thing I would like to tell you is he loves riding bike. He goes from Vellore. He's an engineer, mechanical engineer, and works in Chennai as a senior plant manager. And he loves to go to Chennai and be back in his bike rider. In US, we have this people who love bikes. There's hardly 0.5% of the population who loves bike and who rides bike, and we hardly see bikes. They love bikes. And here again, we have in India a bike rider who's a humble, quiet person with a lovely smile going to conduct this important, energetic, enjoyable table topic session. Over to you, Devendran, sir. Toastmaster Devendran.
Thank you for introducing me, sir. So, good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guest. So, today I will be the table topic master for this today's session. The basic idea of why the table topic is to improve our impromptu speaking, because in our life the situation will not be always be favorable to us. So we must be talking about that relatively. So in this session, uh, I will be giving you a topic, and through your perception, you are going to give your own views upon it within the time limit of 1 to 2 minutes. And there will be a 30 seconds of a grace time before and after your speech. So to begin our session, can we have a volunteers? You can raise your hand or type your name on the chat boxes. Those are willing to take the topics. Or I should, pick a person too. Okay, sir. Anandan, sir. So your topic will be happiness can only come from within. And your top repeat, happiness can only come from within.
Yes. Already my topic was happiness, and happiness the real happiness, the bliss, the joy, the pleasure of happiness is inside you, as I told you in the beginning. It has to come from inside you. Outside, external happiness like car, house, sweets, chocolates, gadgets, technology, all that is only limited happiness. It comes, it stays and goes. But what comes from your heart stays forever. And so every human being has to develop the joy and happiness from inside. They have to bring it out. How? To be nice, kind, humble. And when you're nice, kind, humble, generous, and helpful, then everybody knows you are a nice person, lovely person, and everybody behaves, acts, and wants you to be happy, makes you happy, makes you a joyful person, wants you to enjoy. When you want others to enjoy life, the others will want you to enjoy life. I'm not seeing the screen part of it to time in. Okay, I can see it now. So it is inside you. Your belief, your thought, the power of your thought, the power of your belief is enormous. A sad person can just become happy like this. How? It is his belief. So he can just kick the sadness and then bring in bliss into his mind, into his body, into the person who is standing opposite to him. So the belief, the power is inside you. Everything is inside you. All you have to do is just think, act, and enjoy the outcome of it. So my dear Toastmaster friends, everybody, try to bring out the joy, happiness, pleasure from inside, and don't try to seek it outside. It is inside you. Inform your mind, inform your brain. It is inside you, and try to search for it and try to bring it out from yourself. And it is you who can be happy, who can be sad. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anandan. That was a wonderful speech. Like all our emotions are created by our thoughts, so it is important to work on the positive things, right? So thank you for your speech. And can I have a second person? Can I pick? Yeah. Guests can also get participated here. Toastmaster Ankit. Oh, yeah. So your topic will be happiness is not to teach or learn, but it is to experience. I repeat, happiness is not to teach or learn, but it is to experience.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for this topic. So when I was a young boy, I used to be scared of the beach. Every kid I used to know used to love those waters. Used to love being there. Just the feel of the water going through their legs. Used to enjoy those moments so very much. But for me, when that water trembled through my feet, I started shivering. I was scared and I didn't want to stand there because I had hydrophobia. And that fear always led me back. It always pushed me away from the things I wanted to do. It always caused a fear in my mind at every single moment whenever I saw a huge water body. Happiness was long gone. The smile on my face was far to be seen. The moments of ecstatic never to be seen in my life again. So here I stood there, always scared of the water. But then my mother came up to me and told, Ankit, this is just a small sphere. Feel it, understand it, let it pass, and then the moments of happiness will be found. So there I stood on the beach again, and as the water came, I was scared. I was nervous and I was shivering, and a huge wave came and hit me. After the water passed, I was still there, trembling. But for a second, for a mere second, a smile was there. A smile was there because I finally got to know that my fear has slightly passed away. Toastmasters and my dear guests, life itself is like an ocean, and the waves are the ones obstructing our happiness. We can't teach happiness, we cannot learn happiness. We have to experience it. Just like I had experienced that wave hitting me, and I understood that happiness lies beyond that wave. Each moment, like Anandan mentioned, without a few tears, we can't experience the joy. Those waves were obstructing my happiness. Those waves were obstructing the joy that I wanted in my life. For all of you, let that wave hit your life, and then you'll find the happiness to experience. Thank you, and back to the Tape Talk Master.
Thank you to Toastmaster Ankit. So, thanks for giving us own experience speech on getting out of fear, and we should be able to feel the happiness on that. Yeah. So, on third table topic, Toastmaster Mahalakshmi. Uh, she has raised her hand last time. So, Toastmaster Mahalakshmi. Ma'am, can you hear us? Hello. Mahalakshmi, ma'am, can you hear us, ma'am?
I think she's not able to hear you.
Okay. So, can you take a topic?
I'm audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So, your topic will be, what are the ways you look for your happiness when you feel negative? It means I repeat, what are the ways you look for your happiness when you feel some negativity? Yeah.
Okay, shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Really, I like this topic. I like this thing because every day we are facing some negativity, right? Somebody hurts us. Some things went wrong. We feel unhappy. So that time, I too faced many times, which makes me very negative, very unhappy. That time I used to do driving because I'm a person to love drive. So I take my bike. Even a lot of negative thoughts. I faced many wrong things happen in my life. I just kept it the thoughts away and take my key and started my bike and go for a long drive. Then slightly I mingled with these environment. I slowly forgot that negative thoughts. I started enjoying myself with my ride. That is the most thing I'll do every time when I'm unhappy, when I'm feel negative. Then the second most thing is whatever happened in my life, I just take a long breath and tell, just for a time being it's happening. Okay, it is, trust me, it will be all right soon. That my positive with my positive thoughts, I overcome with my negativity. Then I do more eating. I try to cook different foods. Then I talk with my friends. I do have my my most thickest friend and my what most supporting friend in my list. I'll go with them and talk with them openly, and even at my personal also I'll talk with them. They will give us some solution. So like that I'll overcome my negativities. Guys, everything, I'll request you that everything for a moment only. Just it a happy or anything, it's negativity or anything. It is like a part of life. It will go soon. Just be happy. Happy, enjoy your things. Thank you. Over to table topic master.
Thank you, ma'am. So the happiness is nothing but a feeling that will be seated into our soul on which we feel into it, right? So, guys, happiness is an internal feeling and it's a healthy emotion which gives us an ecstatic feel. So it helps us to keep fit on both mentally and physically. So the happiness can be different from person to person, but only thing we have to understand is that only we can make ourselves to be happy. So in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you are in a harmony. Uh, Especially since today is a Mother's Day, I hope everyone will be happy on wishing their moms, right, and keeping the photos as status. Okay. So be healthy, happy, and keep a smile. Smile always. Thank you for all the participants. Yeah. Back to TM.
Thank you, Devendran. That was a wonderful table topic session. I was just seeing all the 32 teats of all the participants of this VTC session. At times they were a little bit, I think you kicked off all the negativity and brought in positivity into all the members and the guests. Now let's just continue with what happiness is, our analyzation. As you said, happiness is what you think, what you say, and what you do in harmony. You are the driver of your own life. Just see to it that you don't lose your seat and your steering wheel. Be a good person. Don't waste time to prove it. Happiness is only when we shared. Happy girls and boys are the most prettiest. So we find lots of pretty girls and boys in VTC because they're all happy persons. Happiness is something ready-made. It comes from our own action. It's not something ready-made. Happiness does not, it just have to come out. You have to show it in your actions. No medicine cures what happiness cannot. The best way to cheer yourself is to try and cheer everyone else around you. When everyone around you is happy, automatically you become happiness. The happiness of life depends on the quality of your thoughts. It's very important. Smile. Most smiles can make you happy and make others happy. I've seen so many people always with a smile. I sometimes wonder whether they were just born with a smile. born with a golden spoon, like born with a smile. There are so many people I met. So I just feel they are all exotic people. Happiness is a choice that requires effort at times. Happiness is like a proactive choice. Happiness is your nature. Like Vijay, who's naturally a happy person. It is not wrong to desire it. What is wrong is seeking it outside when it is inside. Rules for happiness. Something to do, something to love, something to hope for. May you live every day of your life happy. Shoot for the moon. If you miss the moon, you land up in the stars. That's happiness. Life has no remote. Get up and change. Change yourself from negative to positive. Change yourself from sadness to joy. Change yourself from sorrow to happiness. It's all in your hands. It's all, it's inside you. You just got to think, feel, and live that every day is the best day of your life. It's in your hands. We don't make mistakes. It's just accidents. All happiness is in the mind. My dear friends, Toastmasters, everything is inside you. Happiness is inside you. And now I hand over the session to the general evaluator to evaluate the session. Over to you, Bharat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anandan sir, for the introduction. Now, I would like to call the evaluator one. Toastmaster Hinal, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bharat. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Darshini delivered an informational and engaging speech on sustainability, and she made it engaging in the following 3 ways. Number 1, the title of her speech. The title of her speech was a question which reeled all of us in and made us wonder what exactly was in store today in her speech. And then she cleverly tied in the title of her speech in her conclusion, which made it completely well-rounded. The second thing she did was she reeled in impact by slowing down her pace and stressing on important words such as 29 global fashion brands. This made us understand that this is important. The third thing she did was she put in very important facts and figures in her speech body that not just told us what sustainability is, but told us why it's important. And she also had examples of how sustainability can be easily practiced. For example, when she said her grandparents used old clothes as a mat. This it clearly defined the importance of sustainability. Now, I do have a few recommendations for you that you can incorporate in the next speech, and I'm sure you're on the right path. Number 1, your hand gestures. Now, I noticed 2 things about your hand gestures. 1, your hands were in constant motion. Hand gestures are used to reel in impact, but when you use too many hand gestures, it takes away from the audience's attention that you have grasped. There's a very simple fix to this. Record yourself while giving your speech and understand when exactly you want to use your hand gestures and when you do not want to use your hand gestures. Choreographing your hand gestures in this way will make you aware and will help you deliver an impactful speech. Now, another thing I noticed about your hand gestures were, even though you were emoting with your hand gestures, they would get cut off. Don't let the online platform take away from these beautiful hand gestures that you do have. Simply push away your laptop a little bit far on the table and then emote with your hand gestures. Now, another recommendation I do have for you is about your conclusion. Now, just like a bridge is held intact with 2 pillars, a speech is held intact with 2 pillars. An engaging introduction and an impactful conclusion which holds together the body of your speech. You had an engaging introduction and you had a very informational body. But to hold your speech intact, you need a strong takeaway. Just like how every evaluator summarizes their points at the end of the speech and give that as a takeaway to the speaker must give their audience a takeaway by giving us a very strong stance of their entire speech. Doing this will definitely leave us wanting for more. To summarize, you had a very nice title. You reeled an impact by slowing down your pace and stressing on certain words. You are a very informational speech body. A few things that you could work on are your hand gestures not being in constant motion and not getting cut off, and also delving deeper into your conclusion. Congratulations on completing all of your objectives and all the best for all your future speeches. Thank you, and over to the GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hinal, for the great evaluation. Now I would like to call the Speakers Tools Evaluator, Toastmaster Vizor. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Friends, before dwelling further into the speech and its evaluation, I'd like to first highlight that this particular project, evaluation and feedback, comprises of two different speeches, wherein a speaker delivers their first speech, receives feedback, and applies those feedback in the second speech, making it the resulting speech of this cause and effect project. Therefore, it is most ideal if the speaker gets the same evaluator for both the speeches. This results in the project being most effective for the speaker. Guess what the case herein? Fortunately, I was the one bestowed with the opportunity earlier to evaluate Toastmaster Somni's first speech from this project. And I vividly remember my feedback earlier. And I should say, this project for you, Toastmaster Somni, is mission accomplished. Congratulations on you have successfully applied all the feedbacks recommended to you at your earlier speech of this project. However, I'd like to make some special references to the following. Your speech had a wonderful research skill. They presented a wide variety of information which went into the depth. You had the names, you had the years, you had the products like chocolate, caramel, the country, wherever the research needed, it was top notch. You engaged the audience. Remember when you said, can you recollect that scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? You got us hooked to your speech then. But I should say, what made me feel absolutely ecstatic was when you used the most potent weapon in a speaker's arsenal, storytelling, the magic of storytelling. This is where you hit your speech the most elegant level. And to top it, you had a prop, and that to a chocolate. Now, who wouldn't love it? I also want to suggest a few areas of improvements which will enhance your speech delivery to a great extent. Kindly take note of my suggestions. Comfort level. I felt that you were a little stressed. I don't know if it was the weather or the comfortability with the mic or the camera, whatsoever. You can work it on your trial and correct it. Because when you're stressed, it reflects to the audience and then they feel uncomfortable, which is not very good. And I should say, caramel is a fad, chocolate is eternal. When you carry a smile, it's eternal. Feeling stressed, of course, damages the audiences. The structure, I'd really want to say you, I am a little confused because the speech which you delivered had the objectives of research and presentation. I would request you to kindly structure your speech accordingly to the speech objectives of a particular level at a project. This would make proper sense and justice to the levels of the projects you're dealing. Let me sum it up for you. You've met all your objectives of your speech and you've applied the feedbacks which I had earlier recommended you. You have top-notch research skills You've engaged the audience. Most important, you've used the most powerful persuasive weapon available on earth, storytelling. I'd recommend you to look at the objectives of each speech level and structure your speech accordingly. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for the wonderful evaluation. Now it's time to call my tag team. So firstly, I would like to call the timer Toastmaster Priyanka to give her report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'm very glad to say that all the speakers today and evaluators, except for Toastmaster Vijay, are qualified. And Jaisa, you had an extremely good evaluation that I've noted a certain point for my turn next. But next time, try to summarize it and make it a little more short. Other than that, you were perfect. And all the best to one and all. I'm very delighted today. Thank you. Over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. Now it's time to call the archon for today's session, Toastmaster Keetana. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Today, I've listened the speech and Darshini's speech has less than 5 accounts, and Evaluator Hinal has less than 5 accounts. Saumini has less than 10 accounts. Evaluation by Vijay Surana has 0 accounts. Table topics by Anandan sir has less than 5 hours. Ankit has less than 5 hours. Mahalakshmi has more than 10 hours. Thank you to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Keetana. Now I would like to call the grammarian for today's session, Toastmaster Kriti. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I would like to thank Toastmaster Anandan, Toastmaster Heenal, Toastmaster Ankit, Toastmaster Vijay Surana for using the word of the day. And there are some of the words which I liked and we can use in our daily life, which is used by Toastmaster Darshini, significance, which is importance, sustainability, the ability to be maintained at a certain level or rate, then elite, something prestigious or the best of best. Then Toastmaster Saumini used the word prolonged, continuing for a long time, salvation, which is preservation from harm, ruin or loss. Then prosper, to flourish successfully. Then Toastmaster, coming to Toastmaster Anandan sir, he used many adjectives in describing each and every speaker, like mind-boggling, exuberant, full of energy, existing and cheerful, exotic, something unusual in an interesting way. Then proactive, Toastmaster Vijay Surana used the phrase take a cue, which is to do what is done or suggested. Then bestowed, which is an honor or a right. Then Toastmaster Ankit used a simile, that is life is like an ocean. Simile is a phrase used as a comparison to describe describe for comparing. Here he used life, he is comparing life to an ocean. Then hydrophobic, which is extreme fear of water. Then Toastmaster Devendran used the quote of Mahatma Gandhi, which is happiness is what you like. Happiness is when what you what you say and what you're in harmony. Yeah, thank you. Overall, there was a good usage of grammar and lot of in new words we got to learn. And hope we use these words in our daily life. Yeah, thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kriti, for the beautiful report. Now it's time to give my overall evaluation about the session. So, firstly, moving on to the most important thing, that we have started our session on time. And secondly, so the SAE, the Surgeon at Arms, who set the tone for the session, she has done an amazing job. So she's always doing that for VTC. So congrats Toastmaster Priyanka on that. And next, moving on to the President's address, the Toastmaster Vijay has given a great presidential address, and also he called the guests and get their feedbacks, and that made it really good. And now, moving on to the TMOD. Yes, so it's Toastmaster Anandan. So firstly, a big congrats Toastmaster Anandan for being doing a TMOD role today. I think you have done your TMOD role after 1 year, I believe, and now you are with the same kind of energy and with the same enthusiastic. So the most important thing that I liked from you is that so you encourage the people with beautiful words because you know about most of the people, and when you uses that as an advantage to motivate the people, so that builds some confidence to them. So for example, if you just emphasize about the speaker or evaluator, so before doing their role, so that will bring some confidence to them and that made them do their job well. So congrats on that, sir. And I would like to tell some of the improvements that you have to cope up in your TMRD's role. So initially, when you're calling the speaker with the title, you missed the word Toastmaster, I believe. So when you're calling the speaker, you have to tell Toastmaster Darshini, the title Toastmaster Darshini. So I hope you missed the word Toastmaster for both the speakers. And secondly, there was a 1 minute of silence is missing in your TMOD script, I believe. Yes. So when we are doing a speech, so after the speaker did his or her speech, a 1 minute of silence would be given to give the feedback or the next speaker to get some confidence. So try to kindly cope up this point, sir. And the most important thing that I wanted to tell you in this session is that, so the good thing is that you have motivated all the people to bring some confidence, but I believe that you have taken a little bit more time on doing that, because when we are doing for the speaker, it's appropriate, but when you are doing it for evaluator or other role players, you can slightly shorter it, the introduction part, because it was about 5:20 we reached the second speaker. So um, uh, kindly try to take the suggestion, sir. And next, moving on to the evaluator one, Toastmaster Hinal. So firstly, I would like to thank Toastmaster Hinal for taking up the role, because suddenly Ritik couldn't able to join and she has uh, just jumped and take the role. So thanks Toastmaster Hinal for doing that. So moving on to your evaluation. So you have clearly told the objectives of the speaker, and also I really liked your way of delivering the report of your evaluation. So you have clearly picked the points and the examples of the speaker's speech, and so that made the speaker to realize that why she has to rectify on that. So that's a great advantage that you can take as an evaluator. So picking the line from the speaker and telling it that why it is good or bad, and the recommendations that you are given are very really good. So congrats Toastmaster Signal on that. And Toastmaster Vijay, the second evaluator. So Toastmaster Vijay has set a positive environment to Toastmaster Saumini by giving a beautiful introduction about Toastmaster Saumini. So that brought some confidence on her, and that made really enthusiastic, and that enthusiasm was still in that speech. And also Toastmaster Vijay has given beautiful recommendations, and the most important thing of any evaluation is that ultimately the speaker has to get motivated by your evaluation, and you have just mastered that one. So both the evaluators have did that, and congrats on that. So the one thing that I would like the future evaluators to do that, so um, even I would like to do that. So what is that? Is that when you are doing in the evaluation contest, so the evaluators also will be stand and delivering the reports. So that would make the audience more it will bring some more attraction, and also it will bring the confidence to the evaluator to give his report. So people to I would like the people to incorporate this in future. And moving on to my tag team. So Toastmaster Priyanka, she had done no mistakes with her role. She has given a beautiful introduction and give a short and sweet report. Congrats Toastmaster Priyanka on that. And moving on to Toastmaster Kirtana. So she is a new Toastmaster in our club and she has done a great job with her role. And Toastmaster Kirtana ma'am, I would like to tell something to you. So when you are giving an introduction about your counter, I believe you can have some of interesting things about the role of an accounter. So that would be more interesting to the audience. So you have done a great job with your role. Just a suggestion that you can, if you can add it. I understand that it's really hard as a new member to do these things, but I could always say that don't be afraid of doing mistakes, but be afraid of doing nothing. So I hope this will work. So congrats Toastmaster Yetana ma'am, and you have given a great report. So moving on to the grammarian, Toastmaster Kriti. So Toastmaster Kriti has done a great job with her grammarian report. She has clearly noted the good things and the good usage of the words, and she also gave a beautiful interaction about her role. So congrats Toastmaster Kriti on that. So the tag team report is over, and now moving on to the table topic master, Toastmaster Devendran. So Toastmaster Devendran has done a very good job with this table topic masters, and especially he has told the quote of Mahatma Gandhiji, which made much more interesting about his role, and also he gave very simple topics to the people and that are also relatable to the theme, so that made the session more engaging. And I think I'm done with that. Yes, the TT speakers. So TT speaker Toastmaster Anandan, Toastmaster Ankit, and Mahalakshmi ma'am all have done a very good job. And it's always great to see that Mahalakshmi ma'am is always interested to jump to the role of table topics masters. It's great to see you, ma'am. And thanks for Toastmaster Ankit and Toastmaster Anandan for participating in the table topic speeches. And especially, I would like to thank in this session for Toastmaster Hinal and for the guests who have attended the session. So that's it. That's it from my report. And finally, I was asked to tell the sweetest person in the session by the TMOD. Well, I'll answer that. So the sweetest person. So we are all in a sweetest person in the session, but Toastmaster Anandan has added taste to those sweets. So I believe that Toastmaster Anandan is the sweetest person in the session. So that's it from the general evaluator, and over to the TMOD.
Thank you very much for your beautiful evaluation, general evaluator and Toastmaster Bharat. Thanks for all the lovely ideas and improvements to be made. It's all well noted, and thanks for bringing my flaws open. I appreciate it and I welcome it, and I promise you that I will try to correct myself and move ahead. So it's nice that I was unaware about my flaws and you brought it out. That was a wonderful general evaluation of yours, Toastmaster Bharat. Now back to happiness. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and thrill of creating efforts. Anything you're good at contributes to happiness. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. That's the difference. There is no cosmetic for beauty like happiness. A joyful heart needs no medicine. Happiness is the medicine and cure for many a sadness. The key to being happiness is knowing you have the power to choose what to accept and what to let go. Being happy doesn't depend on any external condition. It is governed by our own mental attitude. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. One of the simplest way to stay happy is to let go of all the things that make you sad. The only thing that will make you happy is being happy with who you are. One of the key to happiness is bad memory, because bad memory helps you to forget all the sadness. Happiness is a habit, my dear friends. Cultivate it. Now, to sum up, happiness and health both are related, interrelated. If you're healthy, you're happy. If you're happy, you're healthy. Every human should pursue their life as early as possible to keep their body and mind physically fit and trim. It's a path to prosperity, joy, and happiness. Wise choose, concentrate, and pursue to achieve. Fools neglect health and happiness. And of course, they suffer. My dear Toastmasters and guests, we have in-depthly analyzed how to keep our physique and mind strong. Those following continue without a break or halt. Those who neglect it, please follow all the ways, means, suggestions discussed and be strong, happy, joyful with a sound physique and mind, mental state of health. Thank you, and over to the presiding officer, Vijay.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. What a wonderful show we had today. Let me start by congratulating both our speakers, Toastmaster Somini and Toastmaster Dashni, on moving ahead at their project levels. And congratulations all the table topic speakers for making an attempt to do the impromptu. Going ahead, I believe it's time for what we've been waiting for, the awards for today. But before that, if we still have some guests, would like to hear from them. What do they feel about the session today? Can we start with you, Ankit? Toastmaster Ankit, please.
So I don't think I need to give an introduction. If you guys don't know me by now, it's very sad. But nonetheless, hello everyone. I'm Toastmaster Ankit. So it was great session today, guys. Anand sir, it was amazing. The theme you chose, the way you give out your points, it was like a really good reflection on our life, how it's supposed to be, supposed to live it. So thank you for that. Darshini, so many amazing speeches, both of you. I not know so much history about what are we doing, so thank you for the insight. And Heenil, and it's amazing to see you evaluate always, a great evaluation, as well as you, sir, Vijay, sir, amazing evaluation. So overall, it was an amazing session. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ankit. Thank you for this and thank you for being with us. Toastmaster Hinal, can we hear from you? How do you feel about our session today?
I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah, now you're audible.
Sorry for that. I feel like this topic was really fitting for the current situation and it really made all of us happy. So it was a really great session overall. Thank you so much for having me. Over to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hinal, for being with us and filling the shoes of our evaluator. Thank you for the lovely evaluation report you gave us. I'm sure our speaker has taken home a lot of lessons. Guest Tarun Kumar, can we hear from you?
It was a great session, a lot to know about happiness, and I think these I should inculcate a lot of these and be more happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarun. We hope to see you more often. Guest Sarah Surana, would you like to say something, my dear?
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Please go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Sara Surana. I'm 10 years old and I'm waiting for that moment when I turn 18 and I join Toastmasters Club. I'm asking my father to open a Gables Club in which I can also participate. And speeches that I heard today were just amazing. I hope that I could also give speeches like you all. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Sara Surana, for embarrassing me, and thank you for the valuable feedback you gave us. Thank you so much for being with us today. Somini, I should tell you that she was excited to listen to your speech because I said that you've invited her. Thank you for the invitation. Now, going ahead to the awards ceremony. But before I declare the awards, let me tell you that each and every role player did an amazing job today. I'd like to specially mention Toastmaster Kirti and Toastmaster Kirtana, who both have done an exceptionally job, although being a very new members at Toastmasters. A big round of applause for them. Now, let us get to the award. May I present to you the best tag role player. It is Toastmaster Kriti for the role of grammarian. Congratulations, Kriti. Next up is the best role player. It is none other than the champion of today, the general evaluator, Toastmaster Bharat. Congratulations, Bharat. Coming, the best table topic speaker. There are no prizes for guesses. We are the clean sweep. Toastmaster Ankit Swain. Congratulations. Now we come to the best speaker award. I believe it doesn't matter who gets it because both of them happens to be best friends. They made this pinky promise to share everything they get ever. So I present this award because she's a blackmailer, Toastmaster Somini with the best speech award today. Congratulations, Somini. Don't forget to share half of the certificate with Darshini though. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all smiling and laughing. I hope we achieved the theme today, health and happiness. Health, that we are all in home, locked inside, not going out. And happiness, so that we all are smiling our ways to merry. Thank you for being with us. And I now hereby close the session number 79. Thank you for being with us. Now may I hand over to the Sergeant at Arms for the closing ceremony.
I thank one and all for being with us today, and especially I would like to acknowledge the presence of our teeny weeny guest, Sara Surana. Thank you for being here, Sara. Hoping to see you in the upcoming sessions too. And thank you, Anandan sir, for such a great session. I think the next time I listen to the word happiness, I'm definitely going to get reminded of you and this session that you have conducted. Once again, thanks to one and all, and thank you, Ankit, for always being there for us, always being there for VTC. And yes, that's it from my side. Hope you all have a nice